Hi there. Central and eastern parts of the country are about to see their first significant snowfall of the winter season so far. And of course it has been, until recently, really quite a mild winter. Now the troublemaker is this lump of cloud in the mid-Atlantic, a fairly deep area of low pressure with weather fronts that will continue to gradually push eastwards and ultimately will bang into the cold air that we have in place across much of continental Europe and indeed England, Wales and Scotland at the moment. So there is something of a battleground setting up with the cold air in place across England, Wales, Scotland, the milder Atlantic air trying to push in from the west, sets up something of a battle. Now, the weather you get is going to be entirely dependent on where you live. The cold air in place across England and Wales, and to a degree the warm air will push up over the top of that cold dense air, and it's that uprising of the air that actually leads to precipitation. You're more likely to see snow where the cold air hangs out. Towards the west, there'll be a mixture of snow turning back to rain, and the far west, well, I'm afraid if you want snow, you'll be sorely disappointed. Rain is just likely. Now, it is going to be a cold start to Saturday with another widespread and sharp frost. In rural areas, temperatures perhaps as low as -12 or -13 degrees. But as we start off Saturday morning, that Atlantic weather system will continue to push eastwards, making inroads into Great Britain. That brings with it some risks. We're looking at snow falling across the central belt of Scotland, initially above around 150 metres, maybe also getting down to some low levels for a short time. But of course, that kind of altitude is where the great Central Belt motorways run, so we could see some travel disruption there early on Saturday morning, and there's an ice risk across Wales and the southwest of England as we could potentially see a localised spell of freezing rain. Freezing rain is liquid rain that's got a temperature below zero and it freezes on impact. It could lead to some very icy conditions here as we start off Saturday morning. Now, through the rest of Saturday, the weather front will continue to push eastwards, and as it does so, we're going to see an increasing likelihood of the rain turning to snow across northwest England, the Midlands, and across the hills of Wales as well. That in itself could lead to some temporary significant accumulations, but ultimately the milder air is going to win that battle, and any snow across these areas will turn back to rain later in the day. It's going to be a cold day across eastern areas, temperatures around 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. And as we go through Saturday evening and overnight, well, the snow really does start to accumulate across central and eastern England. And Met Office amber warning already in force for as much as 5 to 10 centimetres of snow. Well, that's as much as 4 inches of snow. And the weather front becomes slow moving. Further west, meanwhile, we see a significant ice risk as we start off Sunday morning. Sunday itself, well, the weather front's still there, probably across eastern areas. The snow gradually petering out during the day. Dry and bright elsewhere, but a weather front will bring milder conditions to Northern Ireland and more rain. So travel disruption anyway does seem likely with that snow and ice, a significant risk through the course of the weekend. You can keep up to date on the latest travel situation where you live on the BBC local radio stations and also on the BBC travel website. But for further updates on this developing snow story, we have coverage on the news channel, or of course there's always more information on the BBC weather website. Goodbye.